This is quite old. Could this be one of the ring balls? The Lega brothers and their team have uncovered the greatest secret of Oak Island, a small island near Nova Scotia that has captivated treasure hunters and history buffs for more than 200 years. They started their journey with a small amount of gold in the island's water, and, motivated by the prospect of discovering more clues, they continued to research the island's history and ground until they finally uncovered the secrets of the island's hidden treasure. The Lagena brothers and their team set out on a treasure hunt on Oak Island, a so-called flood tunnel booby trap system. Of course, we're going to investigate a mysterious island known for its pirate gold and hidden passageways. They found an old handmade ladder, a hidden underwater tunnel, and odd markings and carvings that appear to hint at long-forgotten secrets. The team faced eerie tales about the island, such as a curse that required someone to die before the treasure could be found. But they were adamant about continuing their search and learning the truth behind the mysteries and stories. The discovery of gold and wood from deep underground gave them concrete evidence that there might be treasure on the island, which led them to find more intriguing items like old coins and carved stones that gave them new clues about life on the island. Tell me the direction you wish to take. A major breakthrough occurred when they tested wood found deep underground, which revealed more traces of gold. This discovery gave the team a boost of confidence and helped them see that they were on projects, setbacks, and minor victories. However, some documents are incomplete or contain contradicting information, which raises various theories and questions. Another exciting discovery was a hidden underwater tunnel with odd carvings and symbols on its walls. These markings seemed to be clues about Oak Island's past, and every new discovery made them even more eager to keep going. One of the most exciting finds, so what we're doing here is trying to determine the boundaries of the paved area, was an ancient ladder that served as a direct link to people who had visited the island centuries ago. A significant turning point was reached when the team discovered gold particles in wood samples taken from deep holes they dug in the ground. This discovery transformed the island's legends into a real hunt for something valuable, and the team's trust in one another and shared goal gave them the strength to face every new challenge as they continued their quest to discover what was hidden beneath Oak Island. As they went, they discovered more exciting discoveries like pottery shards and historical artifacts, which gave the team hope and motivation. Despite the lengthy and exhausting search, the Lagena brothers and their team have been working non-stop to unravel the mysteries of Oak Island. Their optimism and teamwork, which is what's amazing, have been a driving force in their pursuit as they have gathered substantial evidence that supports their theories about the island's past. They have also conducted various scientific tests, such as examining rocks and soil to learn more about the island's hidden history. And they have discovered traces of gold in wood samples, which has been a significant discovery that has altered their strategy for the search. Their faith in the island's rich past has been strengthened, and they have been given new life after the discovery of shining metals like copper and gold in the soil. The team's commitment to learning about the island's history has been crucial to their quest, as they have found historic buildings and artifacts that offer important hints about the island's past and potential events. The team's perseverance in uncovering Oak Island's secret stories has sustained them despite the many obstacles they have faced throughout investigation and excavation. Collaborating with specialists worldwide, such as historians, in order to better comprehend the island's past,
Excavation of the island's heritage and the promotion of tourism. The organization has significantly contributed to raising public knowledge of Oak Island and the treasure hunt. The group has also participated in a number of island-wide archaeological digs. Unusual force discovered on an unusual island. To learn more right away, simply click the video below.
For decades, Oak Island has been a mystery, with traditions claiming that Vikings visited it before Columbus and that it was the knight's hidden treasure. For more than 2 centuries, people have been excavating, drilling, and diving on Oak Island to discover what lies beneath. One of the largest mysteries is borehole 10X in the symbols that were used to formulate the cipher. However, new evidence suggests that the Romans may have also been there. Templar pirates and even the Romans buried gold deep underground. Over the years, pieces of equipment have been lost, rocks, dirt, and debris have collapsed into the shaft, making it difficult for anyone to descend. Macacair's Marks is a deep, dangerous, water-filled shaft that has been the focus of treasure hunters for decades. Dan Blankenship, one of Oak Island's most committed searchers, believes that this borehole could lead to whatever was buried deep underground. Borehole 10. X is not an easy dig. It begins with a 181-foot vertical drop through a reinforced steel and concrete shaft narrowed into a 44-ton long tunnel that is only 27 inches wide and submerged in murky water with no visibility. The crew on the surface would use an underwater communication system to keep in touch with Harvey Marash and Michael Gartz as they explored 10X. Michael would act as a safety diver while Harvey descended. How long has he been in now? 30 minutes? I'm thinking if this goes too long, then I'm going to start worrying. However, things started to fall apart when Michael's communication system failed, leaving them 100 feet underwater in total darkness with no voice or signal. The team on the surface had no idea if Michael was safe, and they attempted to call his name, but were unsuccessful. Amid the chaos and impending disaster at Borehole 10X, the cast did not fit known Roman techniques, indicating a later time period, possibly medieval or early modern. According to some scholars, the sword may have been made in the 18th or 19th century, using Roman motifs as inspiration, or it may have even been purposefully positioned there to heighten the island's mystery. Over the years, Oak Island, a well-liked location for treasure hunters, has seen a number of disputes and discoveries. One of these was the discovery of a Roman sword that had a high zinc content, which was unusual for ancient Roman bronze. This led to the conclusion that it's really strange, but I like it, I love it, and it's pretty cool. The idea that Romans had lived on the island was significantly undermined when it was discovered that the sword was made of modern brass rather than ancient bronze. Nevertheless, not everyone was persuaded. Some pointed out that some ancient mines contain naturally occurring zinc, which could have contaminated Roman bronze naturally. Others countered that the presence of zinc didn't necessarily mean the sword was fake, and that more testing was necessary. Contrasting the sword with other comparable European swords. The discovery that very identical swords at museums in Italy and Spain had already been identified as copies created in the 1800s sparked additional discussions on whether the sword was an authentic piece or a contemporary fake. The sword's unusual discovery location and metal composition led some experts to conclude that it was a contemporary imitation, while others thought it still had the potential to be an authentic, ancient item. Since it is not the only Roman relic discovered in the area throughout the years, the discovery of the Roman sword has caused one of the largest disputes in the island's history. With several finds that imply the Romans never stepped foot close to North America, Oak Island has been taunting history buffs and treasure seekers. For instance, the tiny, pointed projectiles discovered there that resemble Roman-style crossbow bolts match the bolts employed by the Roman legions. Some contend that they arrived via trade routes much later in history, possibly during the era of European exploration. Another intriguing find is the well-known lead cross found at Smith's Cove, which is still up for debate. Some scholars think it is connected to the Knights Templar, a shadowy order that allegedly crossed the Atlantic to conceal their riches, while others think it may be even older, possibly dating back to the Roman era. Oak Island is a small island in North America that has seen a number of archaeological finds and discussions. When the lead composition of the cross was determined to have originated in southern France, which was once a part of Roman territory, it may indicate that an ancient expedition arrived at Oak Island thrilled about the possible finds they might make in the vicinity of the well-known Money Pit. They thought it might be a piece of ship decking after finding a big boulder and a wooden object buried beneath the ground. They made the decision to delve farther in order to relate this piece to a broader historical framework. What is amazing is that the team persisted in their efforts in spite of obstacles, particularly in the marshy environment. You're looking at history, correct? They found artifacts that were buried around 161 feet deep and that shed light on the many individuals who have inhabited the island throughout the years. Additionally, they found metal tools connected to Sir William Fay, glass beads from the 1500s to the mid-600s, and a lead trading token from a 14th century Venetian. As they relocated to a new location, eager to delve deeper and discover what the island had hidden, the team's enthusiasm increased. They became aware that their investigation might link a location to the fabled wealth said to be concealed on the island. The glass, pottery, and bricks discovered in Lot 5 might help them realize how they relate to the notorious Money Pit myth, and even show them where the wealth may be. The team needed to collaborate closely in order to make progress, and they saw an intriguing feature of their surroundings: the amount of dirt in the area. Lornian was set to join the group at a recently unearthed stone foundation on the island's western side. The group, led by Rick and Marty Lagena, is tasked with finding a treasure that is concealed on an island. Like the materials they had seen in the money pit area, they find a grayish substance that looks like concrete or rough mortar. They think that these stuff might be relics from the people who first concealed the riches, or it might be a component of the infrastructure that previous treasure searchers exploited. The group concentrates on the wetlands, a triangular region that has regularly yielded intriguing discoveries. They look inside a purposefully built stone walkway that was discovered in the southeast corner of the swamp. The stones seem to be deep underground, indicating that they were taken out during earlier money pit excavation operations. The group hypothesizes that the wetland may be a deliberately designed feature rather than a naturally occurring one. The garden shaft, an 18th century building, is thought to be near a possible treasure tunnel. The group performs the extremely taxing operation of excavating rock and clay layers in the deep clay. They discover further evidence, such as a shoe fragment discovered next to the stone walkway, that supports a theory of human activity in the area. It was probably hand-sewn in Europe and transported to the island, suggested the area had once been wooded before being altered to its present state. There were indications that the stump had been chopped by instruments, maybe an axe, creating a floodgate. According to theories, the tree was felled to make room for the construction of a money pit or something similar. It was strange that there were no connected logs close by, because they were supposed to be a part of the plan to prevent the treasure from flooding. The following day, the team went back to the marsh and dug deeper into the triangle-shaped area in the hopes of discovering more signs of human activity. They found another stump with neat incisions that suggested it had been chopped with a tool, but the logs around it were gone. This supported the idea that the swamp had formerly been wooded and subsequently changed to its current state. The group then made a huge discovery when they dug 95 feet down and came across a 7-ton wide tunnel that led to the Baby Blob, an area thought to contain hidden wealth. They discovered wooden fragments that seemed to be a component of the building, perhaps one of the wooden platforms that the money pit has historically been connected to. The building's age was suggested by the round timbers, which established a clear link to its builders. Knowing that they are now closer than ever to learning the truth about Oak Island, the team is resolved to keep going.
This time, Drayton and his companions discovered two 17th century King Charles II Britannia coins buried beneath the pebbles and pyrite strewn along the coastline. One of the coins clearly displayed the year 1771 on its surface, indicating that they were centuries ancient. Where did these 17th century coins originate? They may have been abandoned by treasure hunters in a hurry, or more fervently, could they have been abandoned on Oak Island by a wealthy gang that came there to conceal their loot? Undoubtedly, the Oak Island team would need to conduct additional investigation. Diver and treasure hunter Tony Sampson cleaned the coin and observed what appeared to be a cross pattern on one side. This peculiar cross may be the emblem of the Knights Templar, who established one of the earliest global financial systems in the 13th century. Could this coin have been used for finance by the Knights Templar? Who can say? What initially appeared to be the discovery of a small Spanish Maravedi coin may...
The author suggests that there may be a connection between the Templars and the discovery of the cross, because the Templars made a significant contribution to the development of the region's history. Disappointed, they find a big, heavy rock spike that looks like an old wharf pin, and might have been a railroad spike after he just burned something out in here. The team believes it could be evidence of a ship's wharf on Lot 32, which is near the site where they found a possible old cargo bag seal a year ago. It was probably iron, more specifically, raw iron. It's really strange, but I like it, I love it. It's pretty cool that Romans were here. Or maybe Christopher Russo will look at it and give feedback later that afternoon. Later that afternoon, Alex Lagena and Jack Begley travel 50 miles north to Northville Farm, which is located in Centerville, Nova Scotia, to meet with Carmen Larsman, an expert in blacksmithing. Another treasure found by Lagena's father on Lot 32 is a standard rock stake that was used repeatedly to transport heavy goods. Given that the distance from the bag seal is approximately 50 feet, it is reasonable to assume that this was used for transporting a significant quantity of rock stakes and wedges during the period between 1710 and 1740. It is quite likely that the anchor spike of a ship was used in the process of discharging cargo. If this can help identify who may have been responsible for the mystery surrounding Oak Island, it may also help identify the true identity of the ship's anchor spike. The head is shaped like a mushroom and would be pressed into the rock before being punched out. The crew of Oak Island discovered a ship's log from 1746, and I believe that we all have a pretty basic grasp of the job in relation to Oak Island. The journal described a secondary operation that involved hiding a significant amount of wealth on an island covered in forest. The crew found the journal fascinating because it detailed a failed French attempt to retake Nova Scotia from the British. It is possible that the spike found in the same area as the